Heavens, heavens. I was 13 seconds late. The red on air light went on and there was empty, empty time, empty radio time. So good evening and good. We're going to mute the other thing and mute this. Man, new setup here, folks. Yeah, here we are. That's good. I'm going to hide myself. And we're on Logi plus graphics, right? Yes, I'm nervous because I only got one monitor here and I'm in a new place. I'm spending some time in a different city. Um, I'm in Vancouver right now, which is not my normal city. And I just got a nervous feeling of like announcing that to like an anonymous public on the internet. Like it's kind of weird, this whole internet thing, but nobody really cares. Who am I that people would seek me out? I'm nobody in a sea of anonymity, just sharing what I'm up to. I'm living near downtown in Vancouver temporarily for 2 months to be near my father, who just turned 80, and spend some time together. He's in good health, and we saw each other in April. We went on a voyage, on a little pilgrimage, a birthday present from me to him of a trip. We went to New York. We saw a symphony orchestra that he had special memories of, a particular piece, the Rachmaninoff Second Symphony. And we saw it played by the Boston Symphony playing in New York City at Carnegie Hall, where he played that piece as part of a youth orchestra in his youth. And then we came back to Vancouver, and I was staying in his building, just loving life here in the West End. Like amazing urbanism, really nice, walkable. They've done beautiful things with traffic calming. And I'll get into that a bit later because we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to do a little sketch. We're going to do some NDG 360, hashtag NDG 360 business, I guess you could say, this evening. I'm inspired to share what I'm experiencing here in this new city. I'm living in Vancouver. I grew up in Vancouver, born in Vancouver, but never really lived here as an adult, which is a interesting thing. I escaped the city to go to university at Queens. There were a couple of us from high school that went, and we went off together. Actually, stayed together with the family of a friend in Toronto and had a dinner, and then took the train from Toronto to Kingston and arrived at our residences and all that stuff. And that was an adventure. Then after that, I mean, I was doing grad school all around in California, back to Ontario, Windsor, and then moving to Montreal, which is my home. And I've still been reading the French Canadian presse, La Presse on the pad. It's a nice news. It's really well designed, and I would recommend that others in digital media, newspapers that want to reinvent themselves in the digital age, use this kind of thing like La Presse Plus. It's an app on the iPad, and it's nice. You scroll and you go and you can zoom in, you can watch videos, integrated graphics in the column, and nice photos. You can maximize the photos and different sections, and you can navigate the sections. It's quite well done. Anyway, there's so many threads that were going on, but there we are. It's coming to you live from Vancouver. And I gotta just, again, check the stream health, which is like funny. Yeah, everything's good. Excellent connection. We just minimize this. And because it's going to be weird tonight. I only have one screen. I have a big TV here on the side of me here, which I may turn and look that way, look in the screen with the big screen behind, and then be able to do my little Wacom tablet work, my sketching. So we might get there, but for now, I'm going to just use my Stream Deck. Got my Stream Deck on the side, so I can go from screen two to Logitech to the graphics. all that, and I can also do the hang tight. So I may go to the hang tight window while I change screens or something like that, but we'll make it work. So how do we roll tonight? We're going to do this. We're going to go into log seek, actually. Going to make this a bit bigger. So yeah, just close this. Close this. I think we're good. We're going to screen two now. Now I don't want to, I'm going to just trust that this is working and I'm not, well, just going to check. See now you're seeing this in delay. Oh no. Am I on screen two? Yeah, okay, good. Sorry about that, folks. We're back on screen two. Okay, here's the plan for tonight. I'm just writing my little brainstorm. I had my little note here. I went and got my Starbucks today. There's like I mean, it's like any good neighborhood. Good neighborhood. What am I talking about? I don't even know what I'm saying. Well, there used to be a corner in Vancouver at Robson and something or other. Street corner, four Starbucks, one on each corner of the four corners of a street. Can you imagine that? And that one closed. I think they all closed, but there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. I've been to three of the four Starbucks in the area so far. And this is only day four of my adventure. So it's going well so far. You can see me in the bubble with the logseek window. This is my logseek window, my whatever you want to call it, second brain. Here's my page for tonight's stream. It's part of the stream, and we're just doing the brainstorm and what we're going to get up to tonight. And I may record certain segments. So there we go. So what I want to do is talk about NDG 360, West End traffic calming. I want to compare NDG to the West End of Vancouver because there are some similarities. They're sort of similar size, probably just a couple of kilometers wide by high, and sort of have highways, essentially urban highways. I mean, here in the West End, it's not exactly an urban highway, but Georgia Street in that section running up to Stanley Park is like vroom, 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 vroom. It's three lanes, a middle lane that shifts between sides of the street depending on rush hour. Does have now reserved bus lanes on each side, and there's a lot of buses running through, so it's convenient. It's a good spot to be, but it's similar in the sense that we have also the urban highways and the traffic that feeds onto that urban highway coming from the south. Beach Avenue, Denman just gets chock-a-block, jammed, chaos. The red from the highways spreads into into there. So we'll look at that a bit later. Well, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at some sketches for NDG 360, traffic calming. I'll show you some Google Street views of that. But I feel like I should do a weekly review. It's been a while since I did a weekly review, but we're not going to do that right now. So big highway potential shortcuts. That's it. That's my little thing. We've written it all down here. So what we're going to do is get into the creation mode now. And what are we going to use for that? We're going to use our whiteboard. So this was part of the spirit of this episode tonight. Back to the OG. The OG, I used to do this whiteboard sketching. At the beginning, this is how I got into streaming, really. And I wonder if I can show this way back. Whiteboard sketch. This one. I used to do this. This used to be my stream stuff. This was in Microsoft Whiteboard or Excalidraw or OneNote. I don't know. I don't remember what I used exactly, and that's okay. I think it was Microsoft Whiteboard at the beginning. Then I got into Excalidraw, and now I'm curious to like try OneNote somehow. Yeah, hey, because one or there's also within here there's a whiteboard, but it doesn't work for me right now. Yeah, so let's go back and let's keep this. Just gonna put this here under contents. Oops. So I can go back to it when I go off and visit stuff. If I visit Stream and I visit a page, and then I want to just get rapidly back, I just go there. Okay, that's cool. So that's the spirit of the episode, is like back to the OG sketching. And well, for now it's going to be with OneNote. So we're going to open OneNote. Oh dear. Yeah, there we go. In Stream, I'm going to add a page. It's 2023 1005-stream. We're going to go maximize this and have our pen. That's what we're going to do. This is what we're up to. And it's just black. So this one, we're going to make it white. Color's going to be more colors. This has always been annoying for me. I never seem to be able to get full white. 255, 255, 250. No. Standard. That looks white enough. So, stream. Yeah. Just like to, sorry, I'm going to just check the live stream. Yeah, good. Sorry, we're good. NDG 360. So we're going to have this as a segment. We can always just like zoom down a little bit. There we go. And we can get rid of this. And there we go. Now I'm in the bottom corner here. I should probably have a thing here. Ooh, here I am. I don't know if you actually see those lines coming out of there, but that's okay. Let's delete these lines. I'll just try not to go in the bottom section too much. What I need is a monitor. I want to have a monitor on the side so I can just look here, not be distracted, but just check on the alignment and stuff like that. So NDG versus, and it's not versus, let's say, West End, Vancouver. So what do we got to do? We got to go into, let's get some maps. This is the West End, or we're going to need Google Earth. Not sure. Maybe we are, because I need to rotate and stuff like that. I'm not able to rotate in Google Maps anymore. I find it weird. On satellite view, can you rotate? No, not even. What the hell's going on? Why is it not in 3D? Like, how do I get this in 3D? I don't understand. No. Explore, no. Layers, more. 3D. Globe view. Maybe we need globe view to be enabled. Oh yeah, you need globe view. Okay. So this is Vancouver. Let's zoom out. I like to zoom out and zoom in. Let's show you Canada. This is Canada, folks. And, Vancouver's a special place, nestled in this sort of, you can see that this is like the Fraser River coming down. Where is the Fraser River? Uh, this is the Fraser River here. All this is all agricultural land out here. Chilliwack, Agassiz towards Harrison Hot Springs. Used to come there as a child. There's a hot springs and a sort of a resort there. And this Fraser River, right? The mighty Fraser comes all the way through Kamloops, all the way going further up, collecting, gathering all that rainwater, glacial melt, all that from the Rocky Mountains. And the Coast Mountains are here. And then there's a sort of an intermountain range interior part, the interior of BC. Much warmer, different, hot, dry, more, and there's an Okanagan Valley here, a lot of fruit, a lot of wineries, and it's quite a special geography. Anyways, we zoom in here. So you see what's interesting about Vancouver is sort of the lack of urban highways. Like this highway number one kind of comes in but avoids Vancouver, goes north here. So to get to that highway one, you got to go on surface streets more. And some surface streets are, yeah, large, sort of highway-ish. I mean, 3 lanes each way and stuff like that. But there's essentially no like raised highways or trench highways, urban highways in Vancouver, which is when you talk to some visitors, they'll be sort of like, there's no highways, I couldn't get around, a little bit. And then, well, people that actually live there are like, hallelujah, like there's no highways to like mess up my life and just like be super loud and pollute and just traffic, 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 traffic. This insatiable demand for traffic, the demand for more highway needs more service roads, needs more feeder roads, which just the chaos just builds outward from there. And we see that in my hometown of Montreal, specifically in NDG with the Carey Highway and the 20 and the 15 and all that stuff. And the 40 also, I mean, part of our the sickness propagates down from the 40 also. But here we are. This is the west end of this is downtown. Let's say I grew up more out in this area, West Point Grey. It's a beautiful forest here. Golf club. This is the UBC. University of British Columbia over here. Wreck Beach. Oh yeah, that's the naturist beach, nudist beach. Did go there as a child. I remember. Yeah, been a long time though. But anyway, it's getting a bit cold, but hey, that could be another adventure. So yeah, grew up here, went to school here, also then moved down here near Kitsilano. And my mother lived there the rest of her life until she passed away, sadly. Well, people die, but not sad. It was a joyful time. I mean, anyway, we won't get into that. That's a whole other thread. You can listen to my recorded Twitter space that I did first, Twitter space, if you want to hear more about my mother, perhaps. But I'm visiting in this West End area, and so it's interesting to notice how, right, there's a lot of people live up in here. This is West Vancouver, North Vancouver, and you can see kind of these homes. This is an interesting kind of version of suburbia, essentially. It's just going up and up the mountain, cutting, 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 cutting up the slope of the mountain, up to some fictitious line where it's a park or something like that. But I remember, I mean, from my childhood, this was just growing. They were just cutting more, cutting more, cutting more, growing, 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 all the way up to here. And we used to bike up here. We would bike up this road here. This is the Cypress Mountain, Hollyburn ski area. So yeah, we would take this bridge here. That's the Lionsgate Bridge. This is Stanley Park, lovely park here. There's a lovely, lovely, lovely seawall. You can walk all along here, all along the seawall. You can bike along there. Beautiful spot. And then this is Lionsgate Bridge going over, and they've done nice things with Lionsgate Bridge. Actually, they've added this, right? So it's 3 lanes. The middle lane is kind of like a counterflow lane that swaps between based on some, rush hour type of pattern that they expect. A whole other thread that after COVID and stuff, I mean, those rush hour types of patterns have shifted quite a bit. But they extended this on the sides here. It used to be There used to be no barrier here, super narrow pedestrian and bike, and I remember biking across that bridge. Just you feel the wind from the buses and the trucks just so close to you. It was kind of a terrifying experience, but it's nice that they've upgraded that, made it more pleasant. So the interesting thing is kind of back in time, right? And this West End neighborhood is just lovely. Trees, lot of towers, a lot of condo towers, more and more. It's just beautiful. Like imagine living right here on the edges of Stanley Park. There's a lovely lagoon. There's all these birds. There's tennis courts. There's just this park, and there's the harbor here. And yeah, I mean, this street, particularly Georgia Street here, is the kind of highway, not a highway, but it's a highway. It's Highway 99. It's Highway 99 is the one that goes up to Whistler, Squamish, all the way northward. And so, yeah, and this is like Highway 1A. So it's kind of like this weird thing where kind of like Sherbrooke Street back home in Montreal is like Highway 132 or something like that. I'm like, it's a highway? Like, yeah, it's a kind of got this highway classification. So similar thing here. You've got the 1A, the 7A, the 99. And so we zoom in here on like Highway 99, like it's a highway, right? It's a what? Like there's a bike lane here. Like who in their mind wants to use this bike lane when there's a reserved bus lane, two more lanes, a central counterflow lane, two more, maybe there's another and a bus lane and this. So yeah, part of it is like maybe measuring this also. There's something interesting there. Um, can I measure in this tool? No, I need Google Earth to measure. So Google Earth is loading. Okay, just let me explore. Okay. I have the app also, but let's create a project here. West End. And let's go to Vancouver, BC. Zoop, zoop. Here we are in the West End. Can I hide this? Sidebar. Yes, okay. So showing you the West End, we're looking at Georgia Street, right? So Georgia Street is the street that comes from downtown and takes you, we need to see some layers here. Let's see some layers, yeah. Okay, so Georgia Street here takes you downtown through Stanley Park on this causeway. There's another thread there with Montreal and kind of using this park as like a well, in Montreal, people use the Mount Royal Park as a sort of shortcut to go over the mountain instead of taking the surface streets that go on either side. But here, it's not really a shortcut; it's the only way through. So, but they've done stuff here to add bus lanes there, so it's some nice things happening. But we're interested to measure this, I think, is what we wanted to do. We wanted to take Highway 99, Georgia Street here. Let's see. We can get a good view of Georgia Street. There we go. How do we measure here? Measure one side to the other side. 25 meters. 25 meters wide. I like this OneNote thing actually. I just put some text here and then I'm able to add a photo, which is good. And then I can move this around as a unit and I can kind of scale this up or down also by scaling this up or down. Yeah. I like this. Yeah. So let's go back. And yeah, we were looking at So what's interesting is there's kind of like two main ways to get there. I mean, in the peak traffic times, like this Georgia Street is just jam packed. Then this is jam packed. Then there's another way to get there, kind of from other destinations south of there, right? There's like, okay, Main Street is coming here. You get on this thing, but often people will come along here from Burrard Bridge, come along Pacific or Beach Avenue. So there's also traffic coming down here that then gets on to like here, Denman Street, to then get onto the 99. And so I was looking up a little bit around that. And the other thing I wanted to do was just kind of measure roughly sort of the west end from top to bottom here. So let's measure again. Oops. Say from here, from Granville, 2 kilometers. And then can I measure another one? Save to project. No, this is okay. And just sort of like roughly this one. So it's 2 kilometers by 1.4 kilometers. Let's take a screenshot of this. And now what I need to do is actually go into screenshot mode and write on the screenshot with, yeah, Granville, 2 kilometers. Um, okay, and then we want to take a look. So I want to show you how that's similar to um, back home in NDG. So let's zoom across the country, back to Montreal, right? There's Montreal. There's the highway I was speaking of, the 15. And, what's our characteristic dimension from, say, Côte Saint-Luc to like Westminster to here or something like that? Let's just measure across here. And let's measure, oh, from here to here. Oh, this is the path tool. 3 kilometers by, I don't know, let's say from Côte Saint-Luc, Fielding. Just take a screenshot right now. Trail west to 15. Let's call that a sort of characteristic dimension. That's about 3 kilometers. We've got to make this thicker. No, a bit thinner. 3 kilometers by, let's say, from Côte Saint-Luc to Sherbrooke down here. 2 kilometers. Okay. So what's interesting to notice is, let's go back to Google Earth here, escape there. I should just be in map mode right now. Layers. No, this is not the right place to be here. Google Maps. Go back to the map. Can I move it around? No, I can't move it around though. So, we're going to talk about flow, flows. So, traffic flows through here. Yeah, we're going to do a little sketch here. So, take this whole screen like this. No, not quite. Let's take it just from here. I don't know. Okay. I can just sketch right here. Sketch right here in the tool snip mode. Okay, what's the time? What's the time, folks? 6:14. 6:14. We started at 5:42. I should set timers or something like that. That's what I need. Need a little timette, because got to be reminded when it's time to take our stretch. Let's not forget to take our stretch. Take your stretch. Take your stretch. The other annoying thing is I can't see the chat. So I'm going to put the hang tight back soon sign on while I just check things are working. Excellent condition. Good. I can still talk while the thing is on, so that's good. But we're on hang tight back soon mode right now, and um, okay. What was I doing? I was setting a timer. Going to go for another 25 minutes, and then the timer is going to ring. And then we're going to take our stretch. So, screen two. Hey, and we're back. Okay, good. So we were going to do this. So, right, here's the West End. So this is the start. Maybe this is the start of, I don't know how I'm going to cut this up. Do I have to listen to this whole damn thing? No, I'm going to read the transcript and then use Otter, searching within Otter to find the timestamp of the video. And then that's going to be annoying, though, super annoying. Oh dear, just had a moment there about all the editing and oh my God, I'm just doing this live stream now and like I gotta cut it up into segments and gotta post them all and all this stuff, which is like heavy. So I just want to stream for now. Oh my goodness. Just take a moment, have a thought about how I want to manage this footage because it's valuable footage. Valuable. Who's talking about? There's Marvin again. Marvin, the inner critic. Michael, it's not valuable. What the fuck is this? Oh, pardon me, I swore on the air. Thanks, Marvin. Click. So, yeah, we're just going to record, I think. We're going to just record. I have the Stream Deck. I can just hit record, just like Joe's thing. Joe, the actor, Joe. Hit record, Joe. Just hit record. Then I have the recording because I have it from YouTube. I can download it, but that's not always super reliable, so I get scared. But then I have double stuff. Man, it's getting complicated. Getting super complicated. Super complicated. So, before we jump in, we're just going to go back to Logi. Logi. Hey folks, Michael Johnson here. This is a weird, I'm just getting used to the new setup here, and I can't check what I look like. Now I can check what I look like because I'm streaming just my thing, and there's some sunlight tickling me here. Yeah, tickling me, tickling my fancy. Hey, whew. Yeah, I've been, I wouldn't say struggling. I don't know. Struggling, it's all in the way that you frame things sometimes. So I'm experiencing some anxiety, some fear, leading to a vicious cycle of procrastination, which leads to more anxiety for the sort of feared, beat down that might come later. And it's just not been a nice place to be for me lately. And for me, these live streams is a way to kind of bust out of that a little bit. It's strange that it's somehow easier for me to like share random stuff like this on the interwebs, on the internet, versus with people that I'm closer to somehow. Like, strange phenomenon, but I feel like this is okay. So just start with whatever feels easy, like just to get into a groove, get into a flow, and make sure it builds into harder things. Um, just like lifting weights, you're not going to just start squatting 800 pounds. You're going to start small with body weights, and then, but I feel like often in my life, sometimes I'm just continually starting small and staying small somehow. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, yeah. Sun is just going down. That means I can probably lift this up. I can raise this up. So this is live right now. Pardon me. I'm gonna just do some work here and get some more sun coming in. Get some light on the subject. Why not? I always feel like my setup is kind of static. Don't move anything. Don't do anything. But now we got some good light here. Nice, nice light. Different time also. I'm in a new time zone, right? It's whatever time it is now. I don't know what time it is. It's 6:20 p.m. 6:20 p.m. Sun is setting. See the mountains. Really got a sweet spot here. I'm just feeling pretty blessed that I have a job that is flexible. I've been getting up damn early. Well, damn early, relatively early. Get up at 5, online by 6, and there were meetings, and there was one workshop where it was online at 5, so woke up at quarter to 5, and that was fine. It was okay. I mean, I didn't have to present anything in the workshop, so I could just listen to the introductory material while eating my little breakfast, so that worked out nicely, and it was relatively fine. And again, I'm extremely lucky and blessed to have this kind of flexibility in my life and the financial means to just up and move to a different city and pay rent for an apartment for a couple of months on top of, our home. So this is, again, feeling lucky and blessed for that. So this little parentheses was brought on by the stress, the anxiety that was coming up as I was about to sketch something on the screen in within whatever it was, and then I got sort of like, which way should I do it? Should I use the snipping tool? Should I just use PowerPoint? And it's probably, so I'm not sure about this whole OneNote PowerPoint thing, like, and snippet and OBS recording and editing. So there's a whole like complicated, convoluted workflow of that I'm trying to figure out here by just practicing it. So we're figuring out the workflow as we go, as we practice. So I should just record some of these thoughts, some of these questions in Logseek. So let's go to screen 2 plus Logi. There we go. We're in Logseek. So um, reflection on workflow. So hashtag 1822 reflection on hashtag workflow. Maybe I'll use the transcript of this meeting to search for hashtags and find this moment. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I'm making it possible that I could instead of having to go through a needle, like look for a needle in a haystack. So let's roll with that. How to integrate Google Maps, measurements, screenshots plus sketches. So we're using OneNote, PowerPoint for later animation. Keep the shapes, right? I can like animate stuff. This is like how I've been doing my energy sketch up to now has been using PowerPoint, drawing in PowerPoint, and sometimes I record a zoomed in part of the screen in PowerPoint, which is good, which is good. So yeah, I have that. So we're on screen 2. I can just show you this right now. This is my energy sketch. And the way that I've been rolling is, for example, this. This was done, these are all shapes that were written in drawing mode like this. And I have a particular OBS setup that takes this window here and zooms it to the full window. It's 16:9 aspect ratio. So hide everything, and then I just have my draw tools, and then I just do my drawing, and it records it, and then I can later then use that segment. So the hesitation lately has just, I guess it's all around just where's my line, where's my bar of quality, where's my flow. In the past, I've prepared PowerPoints more along the lines of, for example, this one, right? So this was my last one on testbed 7, and I inserted a video here. That worked pretty well, actually. Yeah, that worked quite well, actually. And then I could play that, zooming in on Google, and then just doing slides. And I've had other ones where I have slides that then come to animations, or this was just sketching, like this one with the diamonds, right? I've got all these, using a lot of PowerPoint animations, circling stuff, zooming in, circling more stuff, zooming in. So this has been kind of, I would do these drawings with the Wacom tablet and then animate them in PowerPoint, but I got annoyed. I'm like, I don't like doing PowerPoint. Um, it's too much like the workplace, but it's like it's a good tool to just gather everything, so it's fine. These ones I just drew, and then afterwards, like these are ones that, what did I do here? I don't remember. Sometimes, sometimes it's, or I sometimes do it like in full screen mode, and then just sketch in full screen mode, but it doesn't quite work as well because it makes it all as one. But you can also select them later using this tool, which is a handy tool. You can come and select these and sort of ungroup them from the rest of them or move them out of the way, for example, but they remain as part of a single entity, I believe. Yeah, they're part of the single entity. So, but and there's just different. There's a few tweaks. There's a few differences in running with PowerPoint. And this, I think I had a baseline graphic that had all these lines coming out that I animated. Did I animate it? No. Oh, I recorded it separately, I think, and then I made these live. So different ways of doing stuff in PowerPoint, and this file is specifically for the energy sketch. So I need one, I guess, for my NDG 360. I need a new PowerPoint, basically. So let's make a new PowerPoint. File, new, blank presentation. We make the master slides black, and we just remove like a lot of these master slides. Like we just keep one of them only, I think. I don't know how to do that. I think these are all the styles, so probably you can't delete everything. Anyways, I want just take this one. Um, Black. Okay, blank. So now we can simply black is more for the sketching upon it, so that's okay. Um, what are we doing? Sorry. We're gonna do something for NDG 360. Let me go back to logseek here. So the idea was comparison of NDG to the West End, and now I got into the details. I just want to show some beautiful stuff. Again, there was some anxiety there, some pressure to like make the live stream immediately transferable into a post, into a video, but that's not what this is about. The live stream is the live stream, and the work is the work. So this episode of NDG 360 should have its own page and should march through the standard process of PowerPoint, idea, animations, info, research, whatever, all those phases of the work, ideation, curation, execution, recording, finished. Um, so, but also there's no pressure to do any of that. None of that really matters. And I've done a bunch of stuff in just one take. So it's okay to do just one take also. Yeah, man. Whew. Funny. Restarting this machine. It's a bit funny. It's a bit funny. Sorry, I came back to camera mode because we're just in camera mode. I really just want to riff tonight. I don't want to make anything that's going to be into anything. I don't want to record anything. We should have separate evenings. One's for just ideation and riffing. Another evening, another work package, or these are sections. I mean, this is also just the first section, remember, and it's 6:31, and we started at what time? 6:42, 5:42. It's time to take a stretch. It's time to take a break, but I'm just riffing a bit more. Um, when was my last live stream, actually? Good question. Good question. Oh, 10th of September, reflecting on the creative machine, recorded an energy sketch, looked at some slow-mo videos. Yeah, I'd forgotten everything that's possible to do in a live stream and that I've done in the past. I do have some videos I'd like to share, so I should prepare media ahead of time. Can't do everything, but I feel like I slipped. I've fallen back, fallen down a little bit in the momentum, in the cadence. So, what do you do when you've fallen off your cadence, your delivery? You restart. What else is there to do? You accept that you've fallen off. And this whole idea that you've fallen off is a judgment. It's an emotional judgment. You fell off. It's called those associated imagery, whatever those imagery might be for you, and whatever you tell yourself in the same vein of, oh, you fell off, as in like you're bad and wrong, you're incapable, right? This is what we tell ourselves often, and it's not nice and it's not helpful, and ultimately it's not going to help you restart your momentum. The idea is to regain your momentum and to keep it sustainable so that you're delivering without harming your ability to deliver in the future. That's a sort of a definition of sustainability, ability to sustain, ability to sustain a regular cadence of delivery of whatever it is, of growth, of creation, of work, of output, of production, of generation, of creation, to be able to sustain a regular cadence of that without putting in jeopardy your ability to do exactly that in the long term. To be able to do that delivery, maintain a momentum without putting in jeopardy your ability to sustain delivering that momentum over a long period. And we could think about timescales and orders of magnitude in that sense. I mean, ultimately, let's say I've been delivering weekly episodes. That's been my sort of cadence, my momentum. But that takes a daily momentum and that takes an hourly momentum. And you could shrink back that time magnitude, that time axis, that time focus, that time measurement into tinier and tinier and tinier and tinier chunks, right? From a week to a day to an hour to a minute to a second to a millisecond, a microsecond, a nanosecond, a picosecond. And I could challenge myself on orders of magnitude Greek symbols, but I think a picosecond, we're getting nano, pico, uh, pico, picoseconds, right? That's presence in the picosecond scale. Picosecond is not something any of us can fathom what it means, but our decisions, our choices are made in an instant, in a split second. And that includes that split second where you scroll up to the next short that you're watching on the YouTube as the algorithm feeds you this hamster wheel, just right? You have the choice in that moment to stop, scroll or stop, put it down. You have that choice. And that happens in an instant, in a microsecond, in a picosecond. And when you make the choice, then to get back to the important thing, and scrolling may be the thing that you're doing in the moment. There are different reasons, different emotions that draw you to that. And I do this scrolling as just like any sort of addictive behavior, you know what I mean? Drug, beer, alcohol, sex, masturbation, whatever it is that your addiction is, right? You're just like doing it over and over and over again with all the consequences of the long term, the medium term, but that short term pleasure, pleasure hit, pleasure hit, pleasure hit. I listened to a full Joe Rogan podcast with Michael Easter, a gentleman, a journalist, who has also had a series on the Waking Up app, Sam Harris's Waking Up meditation app that I've really been enjoying. And Michael Easter has a series on there about discomfort, embracing discomfort, and he's got a couple of books. I think one's like Comfort Crisis, and then the other book is Scarcity Brain, and he talks about a few threads there of that pleasure, seeking that short-term pleasure, but it harms you in the medium long term, um, and that's addiction. And so, anyway, a few threads there, the Joe Rogan podcast. Joe Rogan talked an awful lot, I found. I was like, shut the heck up, Joe, and ask questions to your guest or let them talk. It was a rambling conversation, and all the rambling came from Joe, I found anyway. But there were nice nuggets there. So, there we go. Yeah, Michael Easter, Comfort Crisis, Momentum, Sustainability, Sustainability, the ability to sustain without harming. I mean, in sustainability, environmental, let's say climate and sustainability, that's like, our ability to like get to satisfy our fundamental needs without putting in jeopardy the ability of future generations to also satisfy their needs, right? Within limits, within whatever, moderation, within whatever's appropriate, satisfying our needs. And that's a whole other thread about how much do we need, versus what we have, and disparities and inequalities, and so many have so much, and well, so few have so much, and so many have so little. So, how do we rectify that? So, where were the threads? We were here because I got choked up as I was about to record something, sketching. I was like, I need to maintain this. I need to put this in the right system, um, which I think is true. But maybe I just need to be clear on this is ideation right now. But then that's like, oh, then it's more work. Yeah, well, you want to deliver something that's quality, it's going to take work. Our timer just went off. I should snooze it for a while. Or not. We got to take our stretch. So we take our stretch, hang tight, back soon, folks. We're going to just do a little stretch and we're going to come back and we're just going to try a system. We're going to go with PowerPoint. We're going to assemble a PowerPoint. We're going to sketch. We're going to make it zoomed in PowerPoint view sketching so that we have it for later. And we can always cut it and edit it, or just ask someone to do that for us. Maybe this is the breakthrough episode where I farm out the editing and say, please, editing teammate, colleague, employee, I'll be paying for this out of my own pocket, out of michaeljohnson.tv. Production studios, which was a whole other thread of like, I should incorporate my business. Like, whoa, chill out. No, maybe, maybe. Um, there we go. We're taking our stretch. Folks, hang tight. Back soon. Welcome back, folks, and we're live again. Welcome back. We had our stretch, and this is a good thing. Sun's going down. I may need to turn on a light somewhere. I don't really have good lights. It's going to be like right in my eyes, but let's see about that. We might move sideways. We might change our desk position. We might do some random stuff. So, um, just restarting the machine. Not even restarting the machine. I had an idea for a new way to do the energy sketch, which was to use a particular newsletter that I receive. And yeah, I could just use Omnivore app actually, and just take stuff, make threads. Yeah, yeah. Um, I think that's what we're gonna do. Um, I had this idea because I subscribed to this newsletter, steelforfuel.substack.com from Andy Lubershane, who works with Energy Impact Partners. And I heard about him from a podcast, Catalyst with Shale Khan, Shale, Shayle, Khan, Kahn, and it's Catalyst podcast. And he had a guest, Anne-Sophie Corbeau, I think is her name, Anne-Sophie. They talking about hydrogen and the different ways to deliver it, and I really enjoyed the podcast. And what I'm proposing to do for the energy sketch is somehow I feel ashamed to like shame unashamedly, unabashedly steal, but not steal. I mean, like build upon this newsletter and these podcasts that have already like organized like a super nice like storyline around hydrogen and energy storage and energy carriers and techno-economic analysis, and just like make sketches on top of other people's work. Like this is perfect. Like why do I need to feel bad about doing that? Like, no, you can't do that. You must do your own research. Like, no, like doing research is like listening to that podcast, reading that article. Like, this is how we do stuff. This is how we communicate. Like, I don't need to write something. Someone's already written it, actually, like, in a great way. So why not just build upon that? Like it's not, there's nothing wrong there, but I've been feeling like it's wrong somehow, which is really kind of strange a little bit. So, what I want to do for the next energy sketch, we're going to write this down. Plan for next energy sketch. What I want to do for the next energy sketch is use an existing thing. I mean, I've done this in the past, like with research papers. I had one research article on whatever it was, Martian regolith in situ resource utilization and power to X for the Martian thing. Like, cool. I talked about that paper and referenced it appropriately, and that was fine. That was cool. I enjoyed that. So I can equally do that for stuff like this newsletter or this podcast. Reference the podcast. Hey, I'm going to sketch this podcast. And it's kind of a sneaky way to like make it like a demonstration somehow of what I would offer as a business. This sort of sketch noting, video sketching. So take someone's work, hey, and reply to them and say, hey, I loved your work, and I augmented it with my special sauce, which was the sketching. And so you can kind of ride on someone's coattails, but that feels strange and wrong and bad. to me again. So maybe I can change the imagery there. Instead of like riding on someone's coattails, you're sort of getting pulled into their vortex. I mean, they want to pull stuff. They want to start a movement, they want to build impact. And that's why people are writing articles and newsletters. And this guy is writing a newsletter to get his thoughts going. And like he's sharing it with people out in the world. So what more would he love to see than someone else like reading it and like using it and building on it? Like that's would feel awesome, right? So like make people feel awesome by like acknowledging like the awesome value of their work and like building upon it. This is cool. This is great. Why is it a problem? Why is it got to be anxiety inducing for me somehow? Well, honestly, sometimes with the energy sketch, it's a little bit like, well, already feeling like I'm somehow behind in my work and I'm not expressing myself in the workplace the way that I'd like to be, and kind of, I don't know, scared of people's reactions to things and not expressing myself. And then here I am doing a podcast where I'm sharing on energy topics, and it's all this fear of like that somehow something in the company is going to get beat up for doing this. So guess it comes back to that. But no, like you're not going to get beat up. Um, again, I feel like I've been through this. I have a disclaimer, right? Like disclaimer, like I work in energy and opinions are my own, and I'm free to do my own projects, my own podcasts. Like I'm free to do that as Michael Johnson, personal side business slash personal thing. So this is totally fine and doable, right? Right, folks? I mean, this is, yeah, so there we are. I just unveiled my plan for the next energy sketch, which is to go through a newsletter and cut it up, take notes and highlights, and that's what we're going to do. So let's go to screen two, Logi. Screen two. So here we are. Plan for next energy sketch. Okay. Live stream, reading article, taking notes, making sketches. Could that simply be the episode, right? Whatever you do, it's got to start with reading the article, taking notes, creating a storyline, making sketches. Like this is how it goes. So, like, time to get on with it then, basically. And now I'm feeling like my screen is really bright. I have to, oh shit, function. There we go. A little bit bright because the sun's going down. Yeah. Then what comes up next? What comes up after that is actually like, nobody wants to just like watch you live stream, like watch you reading an article. Like, how boring is that? Mm, probably, I guess it's probably pretty boring. But whatever. Boring is in the eyes of the boringer. There was this trick that not trick, but social technique that I learned about and practiced a few times. Um, this friend called me, and well, a woman that I was interested in back in university days. sort of calling me and like, "Oh, I'm bored." And I said, "If you're bored, you're boring. So find something fun to do and call me back." Click, and I hung up. I felt so energized somehow to like, instead of being sad and kind of like, "Oh, I'm sorry you're bored," like, "Oh, you want to do something?" Like just like kind of like jolt somebody out of their stupor a little bit. I found that was neat. And that's kind of what live streams do for me. They jolt me out of my stupor a little bit and sort of force a decision to be taken and a path to be executed. So that's why, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. Hashtag the stream jolts me out of my stupor. That's good. What were we talking about? Bored. Boring. Is it boring to watch me live stream and dissect an article on hydrogen? I don't know. Does it matter? I'm going to do it. I want to do it now. It's fun for me to do it live, and then maybe that can be packaged somehow. So it's a win-win-win. It doesn't need to be packaged. You don't just do your thing, do your process. That's it. Just do your process. So we're trying a new process here. And we're going to go for the screen two. I wonder how big I am here. So we're going to go back to Logi, and then I'm going to check the stream health just to check what it looks like. Oh, it's pretty good actually. Looks good. Okay, so we can go back to Omnivore. Screen two with Omnivore. We're going to record this section? Why not? Let's record. Hey folks, Michael Johnson with the Energy Sketch here. We're going to try out a new kind of way of working here. So this part right now is being recorded during one of my live streams on my other channel at Johnson Michael B, which is my sort of home base where I farm out stuff and where I create things in the sort of the underground studio there. So it's Thursday night right now and we're live streaming. The new thing I want to try on the Energy Sketch is specifically to like take, for example, a newsletter or a research article. And in this case, it's going to be a newsletter that talks about what will we do with all the clean hydrogen. So shout out to Andy Lubershane from Energy Impact Partners, investment firm, for his newsletter here, steelforfuel.substack.com. I love your writing, Andy. I love the simplicity, love the clarity of the storyline, and just it's really fun to read. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just building upon the great stuff that you're doing, I want to try to add my 2 cents, not necessarily add my 2 cents, but really build upon it and integrate things and sketch stuff ultimately. What I love to do is sketch, and this is the energy sketch. So, hey, Andy, we're going to sketch some ideas around your latest newsletter. What will we do with all the clean hydrogen? This is one of Andy's big questions, the 10 biggest questions series here. So, right, hydrogen can do like a lot of stuff. And there we go. There's some articles here referenced, but this is funny because there's a bunch of tax credits available in the U.S. now with the Inflation Reduction Act. There's two different tax credits. One's for producing clean hydrogen, I think, and then you get an extra credit if it's produced from newly installed, maybe green electricity. So Uncle Sam wants you to make clean hydrogen, and it's going to pay you for it. So there's kind of like I, I don't know. I haven't followed that much, but I would feel like there's a rush to like get hydrogen projects, but it's still like bloody expensive to make hydrogen. So, but yeah, so hydrogen is a hot topic. Chances are good your government has fallen for clean hydrogen. Um, right? So there's all these hydrogen accelerator, hydrogen bank, hydrogen energy network, clean hydrogen partnerships, hydrogen alliance, hydrogen public funding compass, right? So Europe is a trendsetter here in this. So the US has finally responded with the awkwardly named Inflation Reduction Act. And so hydrogen is one of the big winners in this. So the US government will now pay you more than 3 times as much to produce zero carbon hydrogen as it will pay you to produce zero carbon electricity from renewables. So it pays you to produce electricity from renewables and pays you even more again to use that renewables to produce hydrogen. Um, yeah, there's some numbers there. So the 45V tax credit. I just paused the recording because I realized that actually I should be like highlighting things. This should just be my process of like breaking down an article into highlights, integrating those into Logseek, having a sketch note nearby of in OneNote or Whiteboard or PowerPoint, whatever it is. Like this should just be my process right now. So we need to go into Logseek. What is my process actually? Omnivore reader or PDF reader in Zotero or Logseek, right? So you're doing highlights, notes, and then we're doing screenshots into where? OneNote, PowerPoint, Logseek whiteboard. I'm not sure where to put those right now. That's okay. That's interesting. Um, but yeah, I mean, maybe like streaming that is not, maybe you stream once you've taken the notes, then you go through the highlights and then you do sketching. Um, so there's some pre-work, probably best to do the pre-work ahead of a live stream, let's say. Or, I mean, again, you can do multiple live streams. It's okay. We're just sharing what we're building in public. Um, but I don't like that it's stored forever on YouTube. So anyway, now we're into like a bunch of different things here. Back to the article, and it's getting dark, and the screen is really bright, and I'm getting probably dark. So let's go back to Logi and graphics so I can see myself here. And hang tight, back soon. We're going to turn on some lights. Okay, we're back, folks. Got some lights on, but it's right in my face, some of those little small halogens, and it's a bit annoying. So this is not the greatest setup. I should probably rotate my desk this way, have the light coming from the side, but that's okay. We're just figuring it out right now. So we were going to do this work, but no. Not sure about it. Not sure. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Yeah, we're just streaming away here. I wish I had some photos or something to share, but that's okay. I think we're gonna end the live stream now. It's 7 o'clock here in Vancouver time. But I feel like just maybe doing some quiet work on my own. Doesn't always need to be live. So we're gonna stop the recording. Stopped. And I'm not comfortable with this with the lighting setup right now. So we're gonna try something different tomorrow. Did I just say tomorrow? Maybe I'll stream tomorrow. Who knows? No guarantees, no refunds, folks, here on the stream. Um, yeah, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for listening to my rambles and shenanigans. Be well, folks. Toodaloo.